Hi, I'm Michelle, owner of Vision Hair Salon, formal national educator of Paul Mitchell Systems. Today we're going to share with you a little bit about curly hair and more importantly, a baby's first haircut. There's a lot of fear out there with parents that a first haircut could cause the hair not to be curly anymore. Also, just tips and tricks to help you understand the dynamics of curly hair and how to go about finding a hairstylist that can work well with curly hair. So we're going to take a look at Benjamin here. He's never had a haircut. He has a lot of texture, obviously, in his hair, and it kind of looks like he has a little bit of a different texture here in the veil. The first thing that's so important when you're looking at curly hair, if you're going to be maintaining it yourself or you're going to be finding a hairstylist, is the bounce back, or what we like to call shrinkage. He's very tight and curly underneath the nape, which is going to appear a lot shorter than he has, obviously not as much curl here on top. So I'm just going to take a little bit of a taming spray. He was just shampooed and cleansed last night. So a good tip on curly hair is to cut it where it lives. And so since he has just woken up naturally with his curls in place, and this is probably how his curl is going to fall 99% of the time, if we give him a haircut that lives where it's naturally going to fall, it will work out a lot better for him and look a lot more natural. And for me, I think that what your hair does naturally is always more beautiful than what your hair is going to be contrived and put into something that's maybe not suitable. So we're going to just lightly put some taming spray on. This is Paul Mitchell Kids line. They have shampoo and a taming spray, the tearless shampoo. So we're not going to saturate. We're just going to help his curl kind of form where it lives, and then this area here. So the curls here that aren't really forming, these are what we call like dehydrated. So we're going to actually pick up the little ends, and like I said, he was about 4 inches on the spring. So his hair, if we take an inch off, it's going to be actually 5 inches in the end. So this, I think a lot of people have had bad experiences with curly hair and have had haircuts that they shrink so much that they, feel like they've gotten a ton of hair off, and sometimes it can take years for that length to come back, and someone with curly hair is not going to see their length as fast as someone with straight hair. So always asking for it to be left on the long side will really help in instructing a hairstylist on how to cut your hair if you're not feeling confident that they know how to cut curly hair. So we're going to just trim his little curls, like I said, where they live. I'm going to start here in the front. So we're going to get his little curl here around his face. And I'm going to cut it right under the C curve. So I don't know if you can see here the curl pattern. And sometimes they say a S wave, but it's really a connection of a lot of little C's. So we're just going to snip. So you're going to hold the curl actually between either your middle index and thumb finger here and make a solid cut. You definitely want to be using shears. I don't suggest doing a razor or thinning shears on curly hair. So if you see, he has a little bit of frizz on the end, and that's actually what's dictating where we're going to cut this, is where it's a little bit frayed on the ends. And that's all we're really cutting. Yeah, and we're just taking little snips of the curl off. So especially with curly hair, it's super important, like what you're leaving on, not necessarily how much you're taking off, just as long as we're creating a nice shape here. We're actually going to pick up his veil up here, and you can kind of see where the curls are, what we like to call happy curl families. And they'll have little clumps where they clump together, and then they start coiling from there. So like this is a happy curl family. And so the more moisturized and the more hydrated the curl is, the happier the curls get. So we're going to take him up here and we're going to cut a little bit more just off of his veil where he's having a lot of the frizz happening and not a lot of coiling. So I love his little curls around his face. I don't think that going too short here, because this is his personality. And no two heads of hair are the same, especially when it comes to curly hair. There's not so many exact rules when you're dealing with curly hair, because curly hair is like a fingerprint and everyone's is different. So we're just kind of giving you general ideas, not that you can't change. So for product for him, he said we have the Baby Don't Cry. The Tearless shampoo is pH balanced to his tear duct. So personally, it's probably not the best for his curls, but it's kind of like whatever's most important to you. Have your baby liking his bath, but definitely sulfate-free shampoo for curly hair. Sulfates build up on curly hair. Curly hair is like I always like to explain it as a tree. So you have the center, the medulla, and the cortex, which is where your color is. And then you have the outside layer, which is your cuticle. So it's like the bark of the tree. So you imagine curly hair is always completely open, like when you see the bark of a tree peeling away. So sulfates, dirt, detergent, all that stuff gets absorbed into curly hair very quickly. It's like a sponge. The other thing, it doesn't reflect a lot of light, so it doesn't always look the shiniest, which shiny usually people consider healthy. So as you start conditioning and moisturizing the curls, you will definitely get shinier, healthier curl families. Okay, so I just wanted to share with you, if you want to make this at home, you could actually take 2 tablespoons of your conditioner with boiled water and make something like this at home. Also, what we like to do for curly hair is called the co-wash. So definitely stay away from the sulfates, paraben, silicone on a child. When you get to older women and men's, there's a little bit different tricks that you can use, but we don't want to put anything heavy. I think it looks better organic on a baby, especially. You can also make what is a scalp wash with lavender oil, 2 quarts of water boiled with 5 drops of lavender, and you can put that in a spray bottle and you can use it for a ton of different things, but you can actually spray it at the scalp and cleanse the scalp by manipulating instead of shampooing and taking the natural oil out of the hair, especially if you're a daily washer. So generally curly hair is like 3 days is what I do for myself. So I put water or leave-in conditioner or the lavender spray, and I will cleanse with a conditioner, not necessarily a shampoo. So we're going to finish up Ben's cut here, and then we'll show you what he looks like when he's all finished, and hopefully have him happy, give him his baby's first haircut card. We haven't had to bribe him yet, but we do have lollipops if that was necessary. So we're going to finish up his curls, and we'll be right back. So just really quick, like we were talking about how important it is to determine how much spring curl has. And Ben here has an enormous amount of spring to his hair. So we were saying how a 1/2 inch will translate into something else on curly hair depending on length and texture and density. But really, if we look at his hair here, and I'm taking his curl and I'm stretching it all the way down, it's going down to the mid part of his back. And so this is a 6-inch comb, just to give you an idea. This is the bottom of his curl where it naturally falls, and this is his curl is about 7 inches stretched out from that. So he's about ×7. So if I took a 1/2 inch of hair from him here, it would be look like 8 inches came off. So that's just good information to know, and you can just take a comb. Standard comb is 6 inches. You can stretch your curl out and see exactly how far you're getting as far as a spring. And so I did my own, and I think it was about 4 inches. So you can, good little tip to know what your spring is when you're walking into hair salons. You can talk to your stylist about what your needs and concerns are with your hair.